This is Dr. Kosiorek here with another edition of Cadet Chat. Today we have some very special guests, Mercedes and Troy, and they're going to talk about a very important club that we have at our high school called Sources of Strength. So I'm going to start out with Mercedes. Welcome, and I wondered if you could share with us and our audience today how you first heard about Sources of Strength and how you decided you want to be a part of it.
I actually had a paper sent home saying that I'd be a great peer leader, and it said at the bottom of the permission slip that I'd be going on a field trip, so I signed it and I handed it in. And then I met an awesome community. I was taught things that I'm allowed to project into my bigger community, and ever since then I fell in love with it. I made a family, and I've been going ever since freshman year.
Awesome, thank you. Troy, how about you?
I had this conversation with Dr. Schneider, and she told me she wanted me to do it really badly, and I was like, I'll take this as an opportunity, take it. I tried it, fell in love, haven't looked back.
Wow, that's awesome. And you've both developed into leaders in the group,
Yep.
which speaks volumes for the club. So what is it like being a part of the club? Because you've been in different clubs. What makes this club so special?
It's like a big family. We're all there. It's usually during our lunch, and we all come from different sections of the school. We all have our people that we hang out with. But when we're there, we're all one big group, and it doesn't matter where you come from. We all have different backgrounds. We all go to a different house at night, but when we're there together, we all know we could trust each other.
Yep.
Love that. Mercedes, anything to add to that?
Just like Troy said, it's a very diverse community where we're allowed to drop our guards down and come closer, trust each other, also take what we learned in from the program and project that into a broader audience, and also apply these very important lessons into life. So.
You know what I really like about it is, and this might sound a little crude, but not everybody has to be friends. Like, we understand that people might have different interests and might not hang with the same group. But what I really love about this is we all kind of come together as a cadet family or cadet nation, if you will. And even if it's someone that we might not see because we have different interests, we can still support each other, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And
Yep.
we're going to graduate from high school and we're going to move on to the real world. And I think more now than ever, we need to learn how to support each other here at Hilton, but also out in the greater community as well. So I'm always so proud when I hear about the work from this group and your advisors as well. So what kind of characteristics do the students and advisors and Sources of Strength have that make it so great?
I'd say we all are risk takers, very big risk takers. We're all caring, and it's good to have that risk-taking aspect of it, just because there's things that us as people just don't want to talk about, especially on this wheel, and most of us actually take a step out and talk about it because we know we trust everybody around us when we're there at the meetings. The caring aspect, we're all open-minded to everything. It's just
Yeah, you remind me of, one of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso, right? So he talks about being curious, not judgmental. And I think what I'm hearing from you is the ability, I think sometimes we get so judgy about people, and what we miss is we place our values on them. And that doesn't mean that that's the right way to look at things, but when we can unpack it and really listen and get to learn and be curious, try to understand why someone might be doing what they're doing. And I think that's what I heard from you, so absolutely awesome. Mercedes, what do you think? What makes it special with with your colleagues and your advisors?
Very open-minded. It's a safe space for me. When we have our meetings once or twice a month, I'm able to break down the barriers and really express myself without feeling judged or anything like that.
So it's not just helping the students that you're mentoring, but it sounds like you're almost helping yourself.
Of course.
Okay, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about your schedule and how your responsibilities and opportunities in the club fit with the other commitments at school, home, and with friends and other activities? So a lot of things, a lot of opportunities here at Hilton, always having to manage our time with academics and clubs. How do you guys kind of do that?
I am a student athlete. I run track. I'm in Mosaics. I'm in Sources of Strength and Student Council. So trying to find the balance at the beginning was quite hard, but then I took a chance and looked at the wheel, and I'm like, my mental health is obviously lacking right now because I'm overwhelmed. So I took a step back, I evaluated, and I took some time off of work. I'm like, that's not my top priority right now. And then I really worked on the other aspects such as the clubs and stuff.
Thanks, Mercedes. How about you, Troy?
I'm a student athlete as well. I wrestle, but one thing I do like about Sources is we have it during the day. We don't
Yep.
have to stay after or take away any time from like sports. It happens 6 set. Luckily, I have a study hall during 6
Me
set.
too.
It's pretty nice. And it actually is a study hall that we can do work for Sources if we need it. But it was working after school every day. It's just finding that balance is tough at first, but I got there and worked out.
Well, I think if any program is going to help give you perspective on how to balance things, it's Sources of Strength.
Yep.
Like, think about it. You guys are both student athletes. There's a lot of pressure with being a student athlete. There's a lot of pressure with achieving in your classwork as well. So this just seems to fit very well with, although you're kind of doing the time management thing, giving you the right mindset and the way to look at things so that you can remain socially and emotionally healthy. So very good. Are there specific moments from the club meetings or sessions that stand out in your memory, and why?
Freshman year, we had a little breakdown and we split up into groups. I'm a very enclosed person. I don't let my guard down, but since I was a freshman, I didn't know anybody else in the group. This was a time for me to actually like drop the guard and just spill out what was holding in for so long. And I was able to do that, and I felt like that's what got me closer to the group as a whole.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you did that with your group of fellow students. Have you been able to apply it in other ways in life too?
Yes, of course. I see myself being a better communicator, expressing myself when it comes down to certain situations where prior to that I would not. I'd just lock up and close, but now I'm like looking to open up.
Awesome. Troy, how about you?
Our talent show was we did last year, was our first fundraiser for Sources, and we sold out actually, and it was just good community to see everybody come together. And I did everything. I helped people find their seats. I flipped the slides for our one kid that did magic actually. It's pretty cool. But the talent show, it just came together. It was a little rough in the beginning, just trying to figure out dates and all that, but it came together and it actually turned out really well.
Great. Now, do you find that some of the strategies that you've learned through Sources, you can apply outside of school as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just be open-minded to everything. It helps. It goes a long way outside of school, especially at work. I work at a marina, so I just need to be thinking the bigger picture of things, and it definitely helps.
Yeah, and I think trying to understand things from someone else's perspective, I think is very helpful because you don't know what their lived experiences have been, and once you can have some empathy for something that maybe you don't understand, but you take time to understand that, can definitely make things more positive for everybody.
Yeah.
So great. What message do you have for people who will be watching this when this cadet chat airs?
I actually have a quote that I learned from someone. It was, "You don't know how bad the picture is if you're in the frame." You always need to be connected with somebody or reach out to somebody who is an outsider who can look into that picture and tell you, even though you think it's being pictured out very badly, there's a lot of hope, and you can get better from that. So.
Yeah, and I think students need to hear that from their fellow students. It's one thing, when your folks tell you something, or maybe an adult in the school shares something with you. Clearly that's important, but when you can hear it from someone that's the same age or close to your age, that's so powerful. So thank you. Well, what are your thoughts, Troy?
Definitely stay in your own lane, or even make your own path. Don't let anybody change you, who you are. There may be judgmental people out there, but don't let that bother you, because you can do whatever.
Yeah, every once in a while you hear about the cool kids, and I think that it just makes me kind of sad sometimes when I hear that, because I think everybody's cool and everybody has something to bring to the table that's unique and special. So what I really appreciate is students in our own school are working in a group to make sure that everybody feels that they have a place, and I think that that's so important. Let's see. What advice would you give a student who might be interested in joining Sources of Strength?
Definitely come in with an open mind, just to be able to talk to everybody. And you may start off a little shy towards everybody, but towards the end you're going to feel like a big community, and you're going to be able to talk to pretty much anybody there. And you're going to you'll make new friends, definitely, if you're not already friends with people, but it's definitely a good thing to do.
So you probably, now you're a wrestler, you shared, and you do your schoolwork, and you had a job outside of school.
Yep.
So those were probably your groups of people that you interacted with on a regular basis. Has being a part of Sources of Strength led to you having interactions with students or kids, if you will, that you wouldn't have had experiences with in the past?
Yes, definitely. People see me in Sources of Strength. I'm on the exec board, so they know I'm a pretty big part of it. So people have come to me to ask me anything, and I'm just there to listen, another ears, and it's good because just knowing people trust me, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I think about an old stereotype, certainly not here, but you think of sometimes students who wrestle, big macho wrestling guys, and you're going to tie people in a knot and pin them. And if I was an athlete or just maybe a student that was interested in some other things, I might be intimidated to possibly talk to you or ask you for help. And I think what I'm hearing is, through this program, you're also knocking down some of those walls that prevent kids from getting to know each other better and support each other.
Yeah.
So, all right. Mercedes, what do you think on that one? What would you recommend as advice to students who may be interested in joining Sources of Strength?
Join. Drop your books down now. Go to Ms. Schneider. Ask if you can join, because you need to. It's a big opportunity. You can learn things that'll help you later on in life. You can teach things to your friends and family just to make the community way better than what it is now.
All right. So what's next for you? Where do you see yourself going after high school?
I look to go to Morgan State University out in Baltimore. I want to be a child psychologist, and that also kind of ties into the Sources of Strength wheel, so I see that goes hand in hand.
All right. Well, if you don't fall in love with Baltimore and you want to come back to the Rochester area,
Of course.
look us up, because we would love to employ you in the future.
I will.
So think about that. Troy, what about you? After high school, what are your aspirations at this point in time?
So I'm going to MCC for a 2-year program because I want to be a state trooper. I'm going to do their policing program there, and
Excellent.
it's one thing I've been set on since 9th grade, really. So
Wow.
I want to be a state trooper.
All right. Well, we definitely need folks that are going to keep us safe. So good luck in your journey as well.
Thank you.
So who's been your inspiration? Maybe some of the biggest influences in your life at this point in time?
It's definitely a hard one. I definitely have a lot of mentors throughout the school and outside of school. Miss Monfiletto definitely is one of them. Big shout out to her. She's helped me. It was a few years ago. I had to do a summer program for history, and I was the only one in that class, and she helped me through it. We played games. Just good person to be around. Miss Pignato, she's definitely a big influence. Helps me through everything. My mom, dad.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Mercedes, who are some of the inspirations and biggest influences in your life?
Within the school, I'd say Miss Peterson. She's at the middle school now, but she was always the most blunt person I can ever meet, and I needed that. I needed somebody, look, Mercedes, this is what it is, you know what I mean? And out of school, I believe my sister is one of the people that I look up to.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there any questions you thought I should have asked, but I didn't?
Yes, definitely. If you can tell us what you think your strength is on our wheel.
All right. So for our viewers, can you guys just explain what the wheel is?
So the wheel is subcategories to life and how we apply ourselves to such subcategories. There is multiple, such as mentors, positive friends, family support, mental health, spirituality, generosity, healthy activities, and medical access.
All right. So the question to me is to rate myself is what I think is possibly a strength here.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, I've got a couple. I think generosity, and when I say generosity, I don't necessarily mean financially. I think that with my time in the role of superintendent, being able to spend time with different groups, being able to spend time with you today, and I think generosity is kind of a two-way street. As much as it's nice to have you on the show, I'm benefiting greatly and selfishly from getting an opportunity to know you guys better. And I think family support is also a strength. I spend a lot of time with my family. I have 3 children who are students in the district, and my wife, and I think that family unit is really important as well. So great question. Thank you. I normally don't get asked questions on the show, so how cool is it that you guys were able to ask me that question? I appreciate that. Yep. So, All right, well, we're going to close it out if there's not anything else you want to share with our audience today.
We also brought you 2 stickers too.
Oh, 2 stickers. All right. I like
Once
stickers.
your kids get old enough, make sure they tap into sources.
All right. Well, I have one who's a sophomore who's in it.
Oh.
Yeah, watch out. So she's really enjoyed it as well and found it to be a benefit. So very cool. And then my younger ones, certainly, we'll send them. Well, maybe you'll come back and visit. And
Of
make
course.
sure
Yeah,
they get a
definitely.
chance to meet you. But
It's a great program.
I just want to thank Mercedes. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
Troy, thank you so
Yeah.
much for being on today's
Thank
show.
you.
Greatly appreciate it. So I hope our viewers enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Mercedes and Troy and their very important role in a very important program here at Hilton, Sources of Strength. Thank you very much. Have a great day.